Well, joining me now in studio is Eric Mandel, director of the Middle East Political Information Network. Eric, thanks for coming in.
Pleasure.
It's all but certain that Netanyahu will get the go-ahead to form his coalition government, and the role of his defense minister, whoever he picks, is going to be critical, right?
Absolutely. Bibi could take it for himself, as he's had for the last 5 months. Lieberman, who helped the government fall in the fall, could go back, and he's demanding that and more, even though he only has 5 mandates. But you have to realize if Lieberman's party doesn't go in, you're down to a bare 61 majority. So it puts Bibi in even a tougher position. We have the situation where the ultra-Orthodox have 3 more mandates they did in the last government, and they're going to use that for extra leverage because there's now pressure from Lieberman to join, that he wants the Haredi, the ultra-Orthodox, to go into the army.
Right.
They don't want to. They want more stipends for their students. And the Haredi, the ultra-Orthodox, are to be differentiated from the religious Zionists, who are the core of the Israeli army.
Sure.
Only 50% of the men work. They are a big part of the budget problem, and Israel's budget, its deficit related to its GDP, has gone from 2.9% to 4%. And if the Haredi demand more monies, that will make things worse. So there's a lot of negotiations that are going to be going on there.
A lot of handshake deals, I'm sure. It'll be up to Israeli President Reuven Rivlin to kind of give Netanyahu the green light here to form his coalition government. Safe to say this is going to be a right-wing coalition largely, right?
I think it's going to be more to the right.
Yeah.
What's really sad here is what really could have happened if he wasn't under the intent to be indicted is the natural thing would have been here to have had a unity government of blue and white and Likud, which would have kept out the ultra-Orthodox parties and the extortion they would for extra funding and for cabinet positions.
Right.
And it would have gone to what was probably the biggest issue of what was said after the campaign, which was the extension of sovereignty, annexation into the West Bank, Judea and Samaria, and the people who said that will destroy the two-state solution. This could have been a great moment of opportunity, a window of opportunity for Israel to define its absolute strategic lines, defensible borders in the West Bank, mainly the Jordan River Valley.
Sure.
And so this would have been a great opportunity to have done this as a consensus, but unfortunately, blue and white will not join.
Netanyahu's statement just before the election talking about annexing parts of the West Bank and really being, some have criticized him for not having a lot of concern for what happens to the Palestinian settlements there. What do you think the impact will be, that statement going forward as he forms his new coalition?
Well, I don't think I think the hyperbole, the rhetoric, I think he thought was simply to hurt Naftali Bennett, which he did,
right.
And that actually happened. But now there's a consequence to it. We've had 4 leading pro-Israel Democratic leaders, including the House Foreign Relations person, the House Appropriations Chair, Nita Lowey, and Elliot Engel, come out and say, do not do this because this will ruin the possibility for 2 states for 2 peoples. Israel sees it as 2 states for 2 peoples.
Yeah.
The Palestinians see 2 states as one Arab state and one binational state, which is a whole other problem.
Sure.
But this opened up a discussion, as they say, the possibility here of making this much more important, saying there are things that we can't get past. The major settlement blocks are part of every peace deal.
Right.
And the Jordan River Valley, especially with Iran to the north and Iran to the east, Israel needs to know how far it can give up things beyond the 49 armistice line, the 67, what people wrongly call the border.
Right. Eric Mandel, thanks for your insight, for sure. All right.